Hi, I'm Dana. I've had a rough few years to be completely... Oh, I'm not meant to swear in the... Hi, I'm Dana, and basically over the last few years I've had a really rough time. Life hasn't been all that fun or great or easy, and I'm now like very much in a little autistic burnout. I'm fucking hell. Oh my god. Hi, I'm Dana, and after a really rough few years, I've landed in a pretty bad autistic burnout. It's one of those things where I don't feel like my life has fallen apart to the same degree that it has in the past when I've been in autistic burnout. So I do feel like, oh, maybe it's like not that bad. But I do also think that it's largely just that it's been a couple of years and I've developed a lot more coping mechanisms and figured a lot of stuff out about myself and realised the ways in which I'm able to help myself, and I'm just much more capable of dealing with it now than I was when it happened when I was 16 or when I was 22, you know? And I do think that a big part of that is it's the first time that it's happened while I've known I'm autistic, so I know it's autistic burnout. I'm not searching for like, am I depressed? Am I going through this? Is it this? Is it that? I know what it is and I can actually deal with it and accommodate to it for what it actually is. And sort of alongside that, it's the first time that I've been trying to pay attention to myself and my life and process what's happening within it. And as such, it's the first time that I can feel like I can sit here and tell you what like the symptoms of my burnout are, instead of sitting here and being like, things get really hard and I feel really sad and the house is a mess and I'm burnt out. You know, I can go a little bit more in depth and hopefully explain a little bit better. But as always, when it comes, like, as always with all of my videos, to be honest with you, but especially when it comes to like specific topics like this is just me. It's just about me. And it's also just me chatting shit about what I think and feel. I don't have any education backing me up. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a counsellor, I'm not a doctor. Like, it's purely just me talking about my experience, and it's my personal experience. Lots of other autistic people experience it differently, and that's fine, that's cool, that's okay. I would in fact love it if you shared any differences or similarities in the comments, because then the other autistic people that are more like you than me can relate. But yeah, I long intro, we're getting into it now. So one of the first symptoms that I noticed and that I was like, oh, this is gonna get me in trouble, and it did, was that I suddenly just, I could not manage my tone and my facial expressions and sort of like my outward presentation to the world, you know? Like, I'd be talking to people, and especially because I get so anxious, and as much as I try to unmask, there is still just a level of masking that is me trying to get through the world as an autistic person, you know? If I didn't mask at all, my tone and my facial expression are very, very flat, and people assume that I'm big time pissed off when I'm not. I just don't have the energy to do my little smile and make my voice go up and down and put inflection on different words. Like, part of me is very aware that it's the like extra parts of communication, you know? Like, when putting words across, when speaking to people, when communicating, you do use all those different things. You use your facial expressions, you use the tone of your voice, you use inflection, all of that is a part of communicating. And one of just the first big things that I noticed was that like friends would ask me questions, I would be going to social events, and people definitely, like, some people straight up asked if I was pissed off, and other people I feel like thought that I was, and I couldn't do it. And I still have times now, like there's some videos where I'm like, I don't feel like I see myself because I can't always do it. I don't always have it in me. And that's one of the things where, like, for most of my life, I've had it in me, and I've masked to a much larger degree than I even do now. But while I was entering this burnout, and while I've really been in it, it's been extremely difficult to, like, put on my tone and put the effort into, like, doing all of that, you know, and doing the facial expressions with it. And I think that's where, like, my videos have been a little bit longer for the most part, because I've had to hype myself up so much more to be in a position to be interesting for the camera, speak in a way that's engaging, you know, do the things that are required to make a half decent fucking video. That it's so much more effort, and I'm like, if I'm putting the extra effort in, I want a little extra something out, so at least make it longer. The next big thing was that I noticed that my sleep and my general routine were just kind of fucked and much more difficult to maintain. I am slowly getting back to more of a routine now, And to a point, I have maintained my routine, but I've mentioned in videos a bunch that my routine isn't the type that's timed in any way. Like, I don't need to wake up at a certain time. I just need to do the right things in the right order. But it's one of those things where, like, I do tend to, like, prefer to do those things in the morning. You know, I like to wake up and, like, normally when I'm doing decently, I would say by 12, by noon, I've, like, scooped the litter tray, done my dishes, hoovered if I need to, like, just done the little house bits usually. And while I've been in burnout, like, that shit's happening by 5 p.m, maybe. It's just so difficult to, like, get up and do it, you know? And I've gotten some, like, I'm sorry, if you've commented being like, you just need to force yourself. I am forcing myself, and I'm still only getting around to it hours later. And it feels like I've been sat there for like 20 minutes, and it hasn't been. It's been hours. Like, I am forcing myself, and this is the best I'm managing. That's all we're saying there. And in regards to my sleep, I'm waking up through the night, which is not normally a thing for me. I'm normally like, I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, and like I've just blacked out the whole time. It's gone. I'm not someone who wakes up through the night. I'm not someone who normally has like dreams. My sleep, it feels like it's not my sleep, you know? Like, I'm going to bed on average at like 2 or 3 a.m. and I'm waking up the first time at 7 most mornings, and then like I go pee and I'll have something to drink and be like, do I just wake up now and try to get on with my day? But I feel so like tired and achy that I get back into bed, and I wake up for the second time at like 9-10ish, and that's when I actually get up. And that's a whole brand new experience for me. I've always been someone who, like, once I'm awake, I'm doing things. I can't get back to sleep, and all of a sudden, like, I need an extra hour or two of sleep after waking up in the morning, and that's just never been me. So I am getting like a decent amount of sleep each night, but it's not a good quality of sleep, and like it's not the way my sleep habits and my sleep pattern usually is, you know, and it feels a bit weird, and I'm not a fan of it. But I don't really know what to do about that, to be honest with you. I've never tried sleeping pills. A lot of medication really fucking scares me, to be honest with you, in a way that I know is a little bit silly, but it does. But yeah, my routine is much harder to maintain, and my sleep routine just doesn't feel like my sleep routine. I don't enjoy that. One of the big symptoms that's made me feel really bad, and definitely to a point driven me to like isolate myself a little bit, is that reading messages from friends, like, that's the thing, is reading pleasant things, reading things I want to read, suddenly felt like reading really complicated paperwork. Like, I don't know if it's just a me thing, to be fair, but when I have paperwork, when I have a form to fill out, like, even like most recently when I went on my little trip to Halifax, in the hotel they handed me and the person I was with different forms to fill out with just like basic shite, and I just froze. I had to turn to my friend and be like, where do I put it? Like, I don't know what to do. My brain just shuts down, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm probably meant to write my name on here somewhere, but I can't even fucking tell where I'm supposed to write my name. It just absolutely panics me. My brain shuts down and I can't process any of the information that's in front of me. And all of a sudden, that was happening with friends' messages. I was opening my best friend's messages and looking at them and reading them through, and like focusing on each word and making sure I was reading it, and just nothing was going in. I could not process or understand these messages. I did not know what the fuck they were saying, you know. And it's one of those things where I would spend days like reopening the messages and reading it again and being like, okay, like, I've definitely got more of a grasp on it this time. And then eventually I'll be like, okay, I feel like I've processed and understood this message now, which isn't complicated, you know. It's messages from friends. They're not hard. They're not paperwork. I shouldn't be having this reaction to them realistically. But I finally get to the point where I feel like I've processed and understood it. Trying to write a reply that is fucking coherent and legible feels like an impossible task. Like, I am so fucking slow at replying to people at the minute, to the point where I'm sure plenty of people think that I'm ignoring them, to be honest with you. I don't understand your message. I can't write a message of my own. And like, there's like, it's someone that's probably going to watch this. You offered to come and fucking see me. I really want it to happen, and I just can't do it. I will get back to everyone and try, but I just, you know, like, it's one of those things where I've seen the TikToks that are like, how hard is it to reply to your friends? Like, it's actually really fucking hard, and I feel really terrible about it. But I literally the most simple of messages feels like I'm reading a different language. Like I can't fucking process it. I don't know what it says. And like, to be honest with you, it's kind of fucking scary. Like, looking at something that you know you should be able to understand just fine and not being able to process a word of it is quite horrifying. I've not enjoyed that at all. Now, I feel like I've already kind of touched on this one, but my grasp of time has left me. My grasp of time is fucking gone. Time, I don't know her. Not a fucking clue. I will feel like I've been doing something for 2 minutes and it will have been 5 hours. I will feel like I've been doing something for 3 hours and it's been 6 minutes. I don't have a fucking clue. I have no grasp on it. Similar, like, I'll be watching a film, I'll be like, oh, surely this is nearly over by now, and it's 15 minutes in, you know? And similarly, I'll be waking up and be like, I'm doing this and this and this today because it's Friday, and halfway through I'll be like, the fuck do you mean it's Wednesday or Sunday? Like, no, it's not, it's Friday, but my days have just fucking gone. I don't know what day it is. I mean, I do, because I've got my little fucking calendar as the thing as well. Like, it's one of the things I am, like, actively trying to accommodate to and, like, assist myself with, and it's still just incredibly fucking hard. And I'm so scared of missing things, or like, just... It builds a lot of anxiety in me because I just feel like I'm gonna miss stuff and like I should know what's coming up, but I don't, and it's horrible. It's deeply, deeply fucking horrible. And similarly, I'm like setting timers for like nearly fucking everything, like everything in my life, because otherwise I don't know when it's supposed to be happening. If something's happening in 15 minutes, I'll you know, whether it's 15 minutes or 15 hours, I'm gonna just have to keep checking my phone and see what time it is, because I have no fucking idea how long it's been. I've got no fucking concept of time at the minute. And along with that, as my next point, my usual hyperfocus is gone. It don't exist. Like, I've been working on the same Puppet Tusk set for like 3 weeks now, maybe longer. And like, I've not fucking done shite to it. Like, it's not the most like overcomplicated insane thing you've ever seen. Like, I've just not been fucking doing it, you know? It's like, I do like 2 things at a time, and that's all of my energy and focus gone. And that's like, so much of Puppet Tusk has been sorted because it was a case of like, I would sit down and 6 hours later I'd be like, oh god, I've done so much of this is so great, it's so fun. And I'm still enjoying it as I'm doing it, but it just feels like I've been doing it forever and like I've like really hyper focused when it's been like 15 minutes and I've done fuck all. And like, if you're new, my main special interest and my thing that I do a lot of the time is I engage with media. I like movies and I like TV shows, and even with those, like, I'm still watching stuff, I still have stuff on in the background, I still enjoy my shows to a point. I don't have that same usual, like I feel fucking there usually. Like, I can just be transfixed by the media I enjoy. It feels like I'm a part of it. It feels like I'm on, like, I don't know, I've never been able to like fully explain it. It just means so much to me and it hits just the right spot, and it feels like my eyes roll back into my head and I just get to exist with it. And I've not really been having that. Every now and again, like the last 2 episodes of Happy Valley, I recently rewatched Happy Valley, and it's 3 seasons long, and it was just the last 2 episodes where I was like fucking gripped. I was back in it and I was like, oh, it's so good, I love it. But I would usually have that for the whole show, you know, and at the minute it's like an episode here and there. And that makes it especially difficult because that's usually my main thing to relax, is that I can just spend 10 hours watching a TV show, you know, and I'll be completely happy. It doesn't feel like it's been 10 hours. It's the perfect experience for me. And it's just not hitting at the minute, and it makes me really sad, to be honest with you. I miss that feeling so much when I don't have it. And I appreciate being able to still nab it in like the little moments for like a couple episodes here, or like the perfect movie. Like, I'm gonna go see the new Final Destination in the cinema soon, and I feel like I'll probably get it for that, because especially in the cinema, having like all of your other sensory stuff gone and just getting the film, I love that so much. So like, I'm enjoying the moments when they happen. I'm really treasuring and appreciating them when they do, but they're very few and far apart at the minute, and that's usually like a very regular part of like who I am and how I exist, and I don't like that it's just gone. And it feels kind of similar because my safe foods aren't my safe foods anymore. Like, the things that I consider safe foods, the things that I keep in, the things that I go out and buy because I know that I can always eat them, I look at them and I just feel sick. They're not right, I don't want them, it's not it. Like, I have my wraps, I have my salads, I have my Keely horse sandwich, that's a recent addition because she went on a podcast and then shared what her favourite sandwich is, and it's fucking good. And did I say steak bakes? I like noodles, I have like a specific pasta. Like, I've tried really hard to fucking cater to myself and figure out what my safe foods are and figure out ways that I can make sure that I always have something I'll be able to eat. And all of a sudden, I'm back to just, nothing is safe, nothing sounds good. The idea of any sort of fucking food just makes me feel physically unwell. And like, as someone who's like had the occasional struggle with eating disorders and diet culture and like all that kind of thing, it's got like an extra level of discomfort to it. But it's also just the thing of like, I don't feel hunger cues all that often. So by the time I'm hungry, I'm like fucking hungry. I'm going through all my cupboards, I'm looking through the fridge, I'm looking through Uber Eats, I'm looking through Deliveroo. I don't fucking want any of it. I just want to not be hungry anymore, you know? And I thought I'd be smart because my local corner shop started selling the Huel milkshake bottle things. And I've had them before and some of them are alright. But they feel the same as food. I'm just like, I can't do it. I don't fucking want you. All I can manage is tea and Pepsi and coffee. I'm not a big coffee person, but I've been having the occasional coffee in the morning. But like, any sort of like food, anything that's going to actually fill me up or give me nutrition that I need is really, really fucking hard at the minute. And none of my safe foods feel like they're my safe foods. And I feel like this point or symptom kind of ties in with the last two, to be fair. But the things that I'm used to bringing me like joy or satisfaction don't bring me those feelings. And I am separating it because it's not quite the same thing. Because I mean, like, part of my routine is that every morning I like do the little house tidy things. Obviously I scoop my cat's litter tray because he needs that. I do my dishes because then like the house looks nice and my dishes are done. I've been hoovering because my housemate isn't here anymore, so I don't have to worry about waking up hoovering in the morning. I've been like just the little bits that like need doing in the morning, feeding my cat, giving him an extra little like licky treat on his little like lick tray, you know, just bits like that. And the reason that's been like a long-term part of my morning routine from the age of like 18 is that I get this like sense of satisfaction and like motivation to go on with the day. Like, yeah, we've like got the living situation ready to like do my day. I don't have to think about that. That's completely out of the way. I can do whatever I need to. I can cook my food, I can make my tea, everything's clean and tidy, and I can focus on my other bits. And it brings me like the satisfaction and motivation, like I say. It's not now. It ain't bringing me fucking anything. I'm glad it's done so I don't have to do it later, but that is the extent of it. I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel like motivated. I don't feel ready for my day. I couldn't fucking give a shit, to be honest with you. I'm just like, I'm glad it's out of the way. I'm glad it's fucking over. I'm glad I fucking dragged myself to do it. I feel nothing from it. You know, and obviously, like I say, it does definitely apply to like my special interests and the shows that I like and things like that as well, where like just nothing is bringing me the same level of joy it usually does. Like even watching Doctor Who on Saturdays, I'm putting it off until like midday, even though I could be watching it at 8 AM. And then like, I'm enjoying this new season, don't get me wrong, but like I'm usually like staring and crying and having like the time of my fucking life. And the only episode that has elicited that in me so far was The Well. Like getting a midnight sequel was fucking everything. I love Leslie Sharp so much. I'm so glad we got a little millisecond of her in the year of our Lord 2025. I love her so much. That brought me a lot of joy. That's what I mean. Like it's not gone. My life isn't like devoid of anything good, but it's just very few and far between. And I suppose like it's one of those where I'm not a big silver linings person, because like some things are just fucking shit and I'm not going to pretend they're not, but I do feel like I'm like kind of like really grateful for like the level of autistic joy that I have, because even though it's like few and far between, boy is it fucking good when I have it, you know, like oh like just being happy over like one of my little special interests. There's no joy like it. And even if it's only happening once a month or once every 2 months or once every 3 months, it's so lovely to get, you know, it's so nice. I love that. But having like things I actually need to do, like showering, you know, like usually if I've had like an all like in-depth shower and washed my hair and moisturised and oiled and like I'm clean and I'm perfect, everything's lovely, I'm getting into a fresh clean bed. I went through all the effort of that for myself the other night. I didn't care, you know, like I just felt tired from having done it. I didn't feel any sort of satisfaction or joy or happiness or anything good. I didn't get like a little dopamine rush. I was just like, done that now. Now, I don't know if this is autistic burnout or just another like general me having issues thing, but I've been so much more achy and in pain while I've been in autistic burnout than I usually am. My back, my hips, my knees, my my whole body essentially. Just my whole body's like kind of fucking achy and stiff. And again, I've been going on my little walks and doing little bits of yoga and doing stretches and doing things to try and alleviate and help it. And it just doesn't seem to fucking help. I got one of those big body pillow things, you know, the like V-shaped ones where you like there's a bit of it on either side of you. The first night I slept with it, I was like, oh my god, this is changing my life. I feel so much better now. This morning, the second night, no change from usual. It made no difference. I don't know if maybe I just slept with it differently tonight, but like it hasn't helped. I'm just very fucking achy and very fucking stiff. And it feels like my body is just like so old and it's not fun. I'm not enjoying that. And like I say, I don't know if that's just that I have something else going on entirely, but like the fact that, I mean, I definitely do, because I've always had some sort of pain happening within my body that probably shouldn't be, but I also think that it's probably not just a coincidence that it's increased within burnout, you know? And I also fucking pray that it goes down again after. And similarly with that, I've also been having some like fucking tummy troubles. I'm not going to go into detail on them. And at first I was like, well, yeah, I'm not fucking cooking anything. I ate takeout for like probably a week straight. And like, there's very few options around here. So it was like the same 3 takeout places over and over and over. Like, yeah, duh, you've got some fucking tummy issues. But like, it's been, I would say like the last 3 months at this point, I've gone through various phases with my eating during that time, and my tummy troubles have not changed in the slightest. And I'm not enjoying that either. That's not fun. And like, don't get me wrong, like, they're not the worst in the world. You know, like, if I was having like tummy troubles, I would go and get it seen to. But it just don't feel right. You know, it's not so much that it feels wrong, it just don't feel right. And I don't really know what to do with that, because honestly I do also think it's probably massively tied into my anxiety and my like emotional state. Like the aches and pains I feel like is tied into like whatever the fuck it is that I have going on that causes my normal pain, and it's like exacerbated, is that the word? Exacerbate. It's made worse by the fact that like I'm not moving as much as I usually do, you know, as much as I'm trying to go for my walks and do yoga and stuff. I am spending more time just like sat in one little like cramped position, because I don't realise how fucking long it's been that I've been sat in that cramped up little position. And I've done so fucking well for this video, and I just lost my point mid-sentence there. I don't know what I was fucking saying. Yeah, I think that the aches and pains are sort of a mixture of the two. I do think that the tummy troubles are probably much more likely just my body reacting to how I feel than having something else like diagnosable going on there. But I do think that my general aches and pains are something that's diagnosable and probably should have been diagnosed years ago, because I've been complaining about this since childhood and seeing doctors about it since childhood, and no one's ever taken it seriously. And as it gets worse and worse, the more that pisses me off. And finally, I've been having moments of big sad, and this is one that I've always had when I'm in burnout, and it's the one that I remember when I'm out of burnout, and it's the one that I've been able to describe to doctors and psychiatrists and other professionals that I've seen. And it's one of the big things that had them trying really hard to misdiagnose me with bipolar when I was like 17, and they did all sorts of fucking tests on me, and they were like, it's not. And I was like, no, I didn't think it was, because the only fucking symptom that I have is sometimes I'm intensely sad for a fairly short period of time, and then I'm fine again. I don't have like anything else that lines up with bipolar but like pop off, I guess. But yeah, when I was first burnt out when I was 16, this was like a big thing for me, because it was literally like multiple times a day I would have these moments of intense sadness, and they'd only last like an hour or an hour and a half. Like they were short, they were brief, but it was so intense, and I felt like there was just nothing good left in the world, and I didn't want to be in it, you know, like, take me out, I don't want to be here, there is no good in anything. I would just sit there and cry, and then for like 2 hours I'd be completely fine. Like, I'd get up again and be like, that was silly, what the fuck, and like make myself some food and play a game and just like fuck about, and then it'd happen again. And I feel like I've got unlucky this time, but again, I feel like it is most likely that I'm like catering to myself in so many areas that it just sort of makes everything a little bit nicer and easier to deal with, because I'm not having it multiple times a day. It's a handful of times a week where I just have like 2 hours where it's the end of the fucking world. Like, I'm just absolutely not even like done with everything. Like, it's not a done vibe. It's an intense sadness. Like, I'm just so sad. And like, I do think it's autistic burnout, because it's one of those things where the sadness comes and then my brain's like, fuck, why are we crying? Why do we feel so sad? Oh, it's probably because your dad's dead. Maybe it's because your mum's dead too. Maybe it's because of that time when that guy did that. Maybe it's that relationship you had. And like, I wasn't having those thoughts before I felt the sadness. Like, that, I wasn't thinking about things that make me sad to prompt it. It feels very much like my body has decided we're being really fucking sad, so our brain better come up with something. And it just goes to like everything that's ever happened to us and brings it all up. And I have a great big sob about it. And then I'm completely fucking fine as though it never happened. And like, it's one of those things that's just like so strange to me and so intense that it was the only thing that I remembered after like past burnouts, and it's what I would go to the doctors with. I'd be like, yeah, I've just not been able to do anything, and then for like 3 hours a day I feel like the world's ending and I don't want to be here and everything sucks. And they were like, I've been repeatedly diagnosed with depression, which I don't think it is. I think it's autistic burnout, and I don't know why that gets prompted for. I mean, if I figure it out, I'll let you know, because then I'll be able to do something about it. But it's just fucking horrible, you know? Like, I'm having a fairly decent day today in the grand scheme of days, which is why I've been able to like, I hope be somewhat like upbeat and not like fucking boring and sad for this whole video. I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, that was my final point. That was the last thing I had to say. As always, I would love to hear other people's experiences down in the comments, because it's one of those things where even if they're not useful to me, I feel like it's often useful to like the community as a whole. And I'm not a techie person. I've only very recently like been learning more of the YouTube Studio app and actually seeing that people like properly reply to each other and there's conversations happening. And it also means that I haven't seen when people reply back to me when I've replied. I don't answer comments very much anyway, and then I've also been fucking ignoring people when I've like started a conversation. Like I just flat out didn't see it. I also found out there's a whole area of places that I'm like tagged, and people have like, I didn't know any of it was there, and some of it's really old now and I'm really sorry, but I'm going to keep up with it in future, probably, hopefully, when I try. But yeah, that's the video. I'm gonna go now. If you liked this video, you can like and subscribe. That'd be really cool. If you really liked it and want to see me in other places, I also have TikTok, Instagram and Blue Sky. And you can also find me over on Patreon or Ko-fi if you would so choose. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year. And I'll see you again in a couple of days.